The road to the final pod is here, and our next stop is the 89th episode. Now, all your listeners out there, the plan for us is to reach our 100th episodes. Proper Let's Be Real episodes. There will be specials along the way, and the end date we are aiming for is the Oscars. So you got about, 6-ish months of potty goodness from us. We are the Let's Be Real podcast, obviously, and I am Nayan, your host for today. And we will be covering very quickly what we've been watching recently. A shitload of trailers. That's Ballerina, Sinners, Last of Us Season 2, Thunderbolts with an asterisk, Mickey 17. The opening weekend forecast for Joker 2. Sam Raimi to be directing Doctor Strange 3. And Daniel Day-Lewis returning. I'm joined here by the movie game lads, James and Kyan. Hello. Boys, how are we doing? And then,
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. Doing well.
Cool.
Watching a lot.
Yeah.
All right, watching a lot. We'll jump straight in.
Yeah.
What have you guys been watching? Anything good?
We'll start with you, Kyan, because me and Nan have seen some movies recently that I want to go into a little bit more.
I do want to talk about a show that James put me on, which was Severance.
Oh yeah.
It's one I'd been wanting to watch for a long time. Mm-hmm. But it was just way down the list.
Yeah.
And wow, phenomenal. Might be the best series. I said this to James since I saw Midnight Mass. Mm-hmm. And just crazy good. Crazy good show.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've just been keeping up with the usual stuff. I just caught up on Invincible and caught up on Rings of Power. So I just haven't watched that final episode yet. But
it's out now?
It is out now. It just released last night. So so far, I think it's roughly at the quality of the first season, but I would say maybe slightly better.
Okay.
So it has improved slightly.
Yeah.
Charlie Vickers, who plays, you've not seen it, have you?
No.
Okay. Well, Charlie Vickers plays a role in it. He's improved greatly. In this next season, he plays Anatar, which is a character in it, amazingly.
Yeah.
Other than that, just a whole bunch of smaller shows have been meaning to be watched. What about you, Nan?
Me, I'm like, I've been watching Severance. I thought that was fantastic as well. And I am also watching Shogun, so I got 3.5 episodes left because I watched half today before I left to do my personal stuff. Other than that, should we just talk about do you want to talk about your good stuff and then we'll talk about the shit that we've been watching?
Yeah, because the good stuff's been outweighing the bad pretty massively, but the bad is really bad. I obviously started Severance. I had heard a lot about it. I was actually in the bathroom at work, and two people from two other stalls were talking about it across me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot about that show, and I know season 2 comes out, so I'm going to watch it because I kept hearing about it. And the concept was really unique. So all you need to read is a synopsis, and you'd be like, okay, cool, this is super interesting that you can get behind, and it really delivers upon that concept as well. So yeah, that one was really good. Obviously got you two on it, so...
I didn't even know the synopsis. I just went in completely blind.
Oh, wow.
Me too.
Because when I get really strong recommendations, I'll go in blind.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's probably better to do it that way.
It was, because every element of it was a surprise to me. Like, just the reveal of even the base plot, which most people will know prior to watching it.
I kind of wish I went in blind now. But yeah, that one was good. Shogun, I'm up to, I think I got the final 3 episodes, similar to Nan as well. But took a little pause to start Breaking Bad, and once I started Breaking Bad, I could not stop. No. And I think it's been about 2 to 3 weeks, just straight binging Breaking Bad. Finished the whole series. I think I finished it on Thursday night. Yeah, me and my girlfriend, we made blue margaritas. We got fried chicken. Like, it was Los Polos Hermanos. And yeah, it was just such a really Breaking Bad themed night. It was awesome to cap it off like that. We really both got super into that show. Easily the best show that I've ever seen. It's so damn good. And now we're going to bridge the gap with Better Call Saul with El Camino. And I got to finish Shogun as well. Penguin, I might wait just to so I can binge it.
Yeah, the episodes are releasing, like, they didn't even do 2 at a time or 3 at a time, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was just episode 1.
Have you seen 2 yet?
Yes.
Yeah. How are you finding, like, waiting a week per thing? Is it fine or?
It's fine. I mean, because I'm not in a rush to watch the show, so it's not like I'm, but I mean, I think so far, like, my impression of it is that you can almost not view it as comic booky at all. It is genuinely like almost like a gangster drama.
Yeah.
Kind of like a cerebral gangster drama. That just happens to be set in Gotham.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, and I've heard so much good stuff about it. So yeah, I'm gonna get around to it. But yeah, some shows I think they just have like a binging quality to them, and some of them you want to be able to digest after every single episode, and
Yeah, for sure.
predict what's gonna come.
I think with Penguin you could probably binge it, to be honest.
I think that's what I'm probably going to do. Or wait until I at least get like halfway and then binge a bunch and then wait for the other half. I did it with a series, I can't remember what one. Or something. Can't be that important.
But yeah, no, so I've watched the greatest show I've ever seen to help me get by the last 2 weeks, in which me and Nan have had back-to-back screenings for Megalopolis and Joker Folie.
Who gives a shit? Joker 2. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Nan, Megalopolis. How'd you find that?
Borolopolis, more like it. Jesus Christ. I hated that. I wish we were on the same page because I was thinking in that cinema, I want to leave. And then you were thinking you want to leave, but none of us like turned to each other and be like, should we just go?
People actually left the cinema, by the way. Like, yeah, so I was like, it wouldn't be so wrong if I left.
Yeah, and I had a look across the cinema as well, and there was like people like, oh, you can't see me what I'm doing. But they were like this, like hands on leaning, like resting their heads. I saw a guy sleeping. He was like fully like this. Like, it is just so bad. Like, not even the visuals or the production could save it. It's just such a stupid story.
Yeah.
And it's,
It's just an absolute mess narratively. It has ideas, and I'll give it credit for, I guess, having ideas, but that's really it. It's just mumble jumble of just random stuff that happens and weird things happen. It looks nice. It looks pretty. Sounds pretty good too. And that's what it has in common with Joker. They're both movies that are disguised to look and sound good, but are just so boring to get through. Like, both were like tasked. You've had those movie experiences in the cinema, places where you can't really stop watching, and it's like, holy shit! Like, how long do I have to sit here and go through this? And you're just kind of waiting, and it feels like a 3-hour movie's gone by.
Yeah, the film has no momentum at all, and you just feel like it's going in circles and circles and circles, and you're just going like, can something happen or can we just go?
Yeah, and then by the end of it, you're just kind of like drained. Yeah, in like a really bad way.
And that's how I felt during Joker. Because the first one, like, you got something like pretty much like at every quarter of the film, like something happened to like get you engaged. Nothing happened in this until like the third act, and when it did happen, it was just like, why? Yeah. And then like the main purpose of the story, they just completely disregarded for something else completely stupid. The musical element is so dumb. Like, none of the songs like serve purpose to the story.
They were so bad.
They were.
Like, they don't really sing it. It doesn't really commit to the musical part, but it is a musical.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't commit to anything at all.
That's the worst kind you can be.
Yeah.
Is like a master of nothing.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And I just don't know the downfall, or like how this is such a massive downfall from Joker 1 to Joker 2. And I didn't even like Joker 1 that much. I thought it was massively overhyped.
Yeah.
It didn't deserve really much Oscar nominations, perhaps on the visual side, but yeah, to see it go from this, or from that to this, is just, truly shocking. I thought I was going to at least be, entertained throughout that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I resorted to kind of picking apart my popcorn box and throwing little pieces on Nay.
Yeah, stacking popcorn boxes and his fucking Aperol Spritz glass on me as well.
There was just nothing to do. It's seriously boring. It's so bad.
Yeah. And they completely butchered the Joker Harley Quinn relationship. Like, anyone that knows the Joker Harley Quinn relationship, it's pretty much a Joker manipulating Harley Quinn, but in this we don't even get that at all.
I don't think it's been done right outside of like Batman the Animated Series.
Oh no, that's goated.
Yeah, like no, it's not actually been done properly.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because that's where Harley Quinn was first introduced, was in the animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just if you're thinking of going and watching it, save your money, save your time. Don't just wait until it comes out on
people are already
streaming.
taking that advice before you've even said that.
I know. I'm just hammering it home for people that haven't seen it.
If the ratings are any indication as well.
Yeah, they're both in the 30s, both the audience and the critic score. And when audience and critics agree, then that's usually absolutely correct. You can't really argue against that.
When audience and critics unite in hatred, it's not a good sign at all.
Yeah. Before we move on, are you going to go see it in cinemas at all? Or are you definitely like waiting this one out?
No, I'm going to wait this one out. It doesn't deserve my money.
Good call.
Fair enough. I cannot wait to hear what you think. And I can't wait to hear if you actually finish it when you watch it out.
See, because I'm always like, it can't be that bad in my head, right? But then people say this and everyone agrees it's terrible. I'm like, now I'm curious to see just how bad it is.
Like, I came to you the next day and I was like, yeah, this is like near Fant forced it kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, Batman vs. Superman's better than this. Suicide Squad, the shit one, is better than this. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just an absolute mess. At least there's some entertainment in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, not even the performances was good. Like I've seen everywhere where Joaquin Phoenix is like being praised. I think it was severely like mid.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even that great. Like he's not as good as he was in the first Joker. Lady Gaga was okay. She wasn't great or fantastic, but I think there was just no good aspect to this film apart from production and visuals.
Yeah, we all wasted giving Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar for Joker. I was the only one standing for Adam Driver in Marriage Story. Yeah, and I stick to that. And I think it finally feels good that I stuck with them right now because...
yeah.
Are you sure? Because Megalopolis as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Wow.
Oh, I mean,
There was no good performances in Megalopolis as well, people.
yeah. Joker reminded me a lot of Napoleon from last year.
Yes.
Yeah, like just an absolute boring, bore fest.
Funny because they both star Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is kind of on my hate radar.
He's
lately.
washed.
He's still a great actor. I just kind of don't like him much as a person right now. Just everything I'm hearing about his antics.
Yeah.
And his entitlements that he seems to have. Yeah. But yeah, let's move on. I cannot take talking about these movies anymore.
Well, that was a very long, quick fire topic.
That was a big tangent.
But we'll get things moving now. Ballerina, the first trailer came out. It's Ana de Armas and it's based on the John Wick spin-off. Comes out June next year. We've all seen the trailer. What are your thoughts? First one?
I think I'd be more excited for this if Continental didn't release and wasn't shit.
Yeah.
Because I would at least be then maybe invested in like the concept of John Wick spin-off and like if it retains that level of quality. But since Concierge came out and it's not particularly good at all, I am adamant to put any faith in this. However, I will say that, Ana de Armas, like at least from what we saw in No Time to Die, she showed some capability of being able to do stunts and perform as in that kind of role, so I guess we'll see. It's just I just get the impression you're gonna watch it and it will just feel like a female clone version of John Wick, which might be entertaining, but I don't think will be revolutionary.
Yeah, 100%. I'm in that bracket as well, and it's because at least from the trailer, it seems to be relying so hard on John Wick, like teasing him throughout it. It's showing him. I mean, the title of the film is officially From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to have much faith in being its own thing. I honestly would rather it just be in its own separate thing, but still, you can still be in the same world, but it doesn't have to tie so heavily to John Wick. But yeah, it just seems like a almost carbon copy of John Wick, but in a female version, kind of like Atomic Blonde was. But at least Atomic Blonde tried to do its own thing.
It definitely tried to be something different, for sure. Like they were all like John Wick adjacent, sort of like inspired bys.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you gotta find an identity for yourself that is not relying on that character of John Wick.
100%, yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to be excited just to enjoy it because I think it's going to be wildly entertaining. And I think they'll have cool stunts and, really cool action set pieces. And I don't know if I'm going to get anything beyond that. And that's fine.
Well, to be fair, the entire John Wick fine, that's all it is. It's known for the action set pieces rather than the actual story. So as long as it can hit those elements and still the story remain near the quality of John Wick rather than the Continental, I think it'll still be pretty successful in terms of enjoyability for me.
Well, I mean, Ana de Armas is a better actor than Keanu Reeves, so we might get something more there.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next trailer is Sinners. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, stars Michael B. Jordan, and it's about pretty much him playing his own twin brother, and shit happens.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I like it. I think it's just one of those trailers and you feel like there's a good vision there while a director kind of knows how to polish his work really well. So you get that kind of distinct vision and you just get really excited because it doesn't give you much at all. It just kind of gives you the basics, but it just managed to build that hype in a really good way. I think it looks good. The concept is intriguing. I would be happy to not watch anything else and just kind of go into it based on this. But Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler things together are amazing. I mean, Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, if you want to consider that one.
For sure, yeah.
They're also good.
It's almost like Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, just
the duo.
Iconic duos, They just know how to make things together. And I'm sure that, Michael B. Jordan does have kind of really good relationship in executing Ryan Coogler's vision. So, yeah, man, I'm really on board for this one. It did make a little bit of an appearance in Victor of the Picture.
It did, yes, it did.
Yeah, it's always been in that fourth tier. So we'll have to see whether it can go up or down or if it can stay on Victor
interesting to see what your Victor of the Picture will look like now.
Yeah.
Because we've gotten a lot of content since your last one.
Yeah, and it comes out in March. I felt like we were only hearing about this movie quite recently. And so, fast turnaround here.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with you in regards to I don't want to see anything else from this. I liked how the trailer showed not a lot, but just enough to give you the concept and to pretty much hook you into the film. Yeah. I like how tense it feels. It feels like as if it's going to be a very tense and stressful sort of film.
Yeah.
And I think Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. I think he's going to give a fantastic, a career best sort of performance in this. I just have this inkling that he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, the fact that it releases in March though is a bit of a interesting decision.
Well,
considering it could be an Oscar, kind of.
Yeah. To be fair, there have been some good films that came out in March, like Civil War and Challengers for this year. So it's not as if it's like a dead zone like January or February.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe Ryan Coogler just didn't think that he wanted to go for Oscars this year or something.
But yeah. Carl, what do you think?
I thought it was really, really cool. The vision seems interesting. It kind of reminded me, you guys probably won't know this movie, but there's an A24 movie called It Comes at Night.
I know the one. I've seen it though,
and the trailer itself is one of these trailers that draw you in and make you think that there's this presence or something that they're fighting against or is haunting them.
Right.
And I'm really wondering what kind of film this is going to be because, it's very much built in I want to say it's probably set in 18th century, South. And I'm wondering if it's going to be very religious centered.
Right.
Because we just had Deliverance, which was very religious centered on Netflix.
Yeah.
It had Glenn Close in it. It's a wild
that one, yeah.
It's highly religious centered, about black families. And this seems to be something sort of similar, and I'm wondering what kind of angle this is going to be, whether it's going to be that religious sort of...
Yeah, well, it's called Sinners, which kind of have a religious connotation to it, so...
For sure,
yeah. I think there is going to be some kind of, religious... higher power kind of thing.
So something like that, or some sort of analogy in there that's is binding it all together. But yeah, I'm super interested in that aspect of it. I'm like, what is this movie going to say, right? it reminds me of Peele in that kind of way, where Jordan Peele, where he's often saying something in the veil of a kind of spectacle.
Yeah.
He creates a spectacle, but he's also saying something behind the scenes that you have to dig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Coogler is kind of, he's a little bit underrated. Everyone seems to froth Jordan Peele way more than Ryan Coogler. I think Ryan Coogler is just as exciting, if not more exciting.
Yeah. We'll find out on this film when it comes out in March next year.
Yeah.
All right, we also got a trailer for Last of Us Season 2. Kyan, you've played the games, and you've watched the first season. What are your thoughts on this?
I loved the atmosphere of that trailer.
Yeah, me too. And it's like as if they're like teasing what happens.
Oh, they are. Those small little shots at the end. The guitar, the everything. You're getting teased of all those moments. We didn't see much of Abby, but that's okay. We'll see more of Catherine.
O'Hara?
No. Caitlin.
She is in
Caitlin
Diva.
Yeah. Will be as Abby. That is a part of it that I'm super interested in, because Abby is like 50% of the narrative.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
After that. So interesting. Really interesting. And the atmosphere of that trailer was like, for me, it was like pitch perfect in kind of relaying what you feel about the second part of The Last of Us.
Yeah, it's going to be good just to see how everyone reacts.
Yeah.
James,
Are they going to be covering the entire second game in the second season?
we actually don't know. Yeah,
I imagine, because there is a time jump. There are I think there's even multiple time jumps, if memory serves, in the second one. So you could possibly split this across 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Because it's a really long game. It's way longer than the first one. It's probably twice as long, at least.
Yeah.
So you definitely at least get 2, but maybe even 3.
I hope they do go that route. I hope they don't try cram 30 plus hours of a game into one singular season.
Yeah.
I think 3 seasons will do it justice, but I think they can do it in 2.
Absolutely. I think it's better to do it in 2. And, if you do want to do it in 3, you can do it in 3. It's better to take your time with it. I'd rather them drag it out a little bit than rush it.
Yeah. James, what are your thoughts? You haven't played the game and you've watched like half or a bit of the first season?
In the first episode.
Okay, you've seen 1 episode of the first season. What do you think of this trailer? Just the trailer.
It does look good. I completely agree with Kyan saying in terms of the atmosphere. It just... Yeah, it looks like they built big towns for this and stuff like that. The kind of scenic backdrops that they have. It does look like a TV show that I really do want to get immersed in and enjoy. So I will be watching first season at some point. There's just a lot of stuff that I have to watch beforehand and stuff I got to do. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Looks good. It looks like one of those really high budget TV shows that are out right now. So. We'll see if I can click with the story. I'm not coming from a video game side of things, so yeah. We'll have to see. That's going to be very interesting because you guys have both played the games.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see his take once he's seen it. And how
I did really like the first episode.
That's good. That's good. All right, the next one, MCU with Thunderbolts with an asterisk. That trailer has dropped. James, you're the MCU fanboy. What are your thoughts on Thunderbolts with an asterisk?
The MCU fanboy sitting right next to you.
That's true.
Can we watch Deadpool Wolverine tonight? Okay, all right. That's what I'm asking.
Literally begging.
Had a gun to my head.
Thunderbolts with an asterisk. I love that we keep calling it that. I was kind of disappointed by this trailer, but at the same time, I wasn't really disappointed at all because I had no expectations. I was not excited at all. I thought this was probably the worst bunch of characters you could put together. It's like, we're going to create, Marvel's Suicide Squad. Let's just put the most boring and uninteresting villains all together. Or, anti-heroes. And it's just like, oh, okay. And I think we got that from the trailer. It's like, I just don't know how these guys work together. Am I interested? No, I don't. I don't really care. I don't like half of them. I find, is it Yelena? Is that her name? Yeah. Yelena is interesting. Captain America dude. I like him. He's interesting, and Bucky, but I think Bucky's done now. You got
He's not an antagonist character or even like grey.
I don't
He's redeemed himself.
They
Yeah.
undiddled that in
It looks like he's attacking them, if that means anything, I guess.
I suppose it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he's their antagonist or to trying to slow them down or
Yeah, we didn't really get much from the plot or anything, but yeah, I just don't care for an MCU movie where it kind of has these batch of characters together.
Yeah.
And this trailer didn't do anything to change my mind about that. I think, at least with Suicide Squad, you got all these kind of different, very unique characters trying to mix together and work together that are like very interesting, even before you get to know them. But these ones, they're just kind of bland characters chucked together.
who's making this?
Someone, I have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's don't care enough.
Marvel.
The only thing that's interesting is the asterisks. That's all.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the only reason why I'm hooked on this is just to find out why there's an asterisk there. Otherwise, I could care less about the movie,
Well, the Sentry was kind of introduced in that trailer, so
That's true.
that's something to be interested by.
Yeah, that's true. And he's like the most powerful, like, being in comic books on MCU history.
You got that
So-
girl from Secret Invasion.
Honestly, we don't even need the Avengers anymore. Right? Just fucking chuck her in. She can just transform into any superhero and pummel them.
But what did you think about the trailer, at least?
Same thoughts as you. I thought it was mid. It wasn't even a trailer; it was a teaser, but that's 3 minutes long, like longest teaser ever. But yeah, it didn't hook me in any way. I'm not excited in any way.
Yeah.
I would just go see it just to see what the asterisk is all about. Like, it's just, you completely said, like, every single one of those characters, or majority of those characters, is not interesting. Like, Red Guardian, no one wants to see.
Yeah,
No one wants to see him. Ghost was like a shit villain. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
People don't even remember who that was. I only remember who that was because of how bad of a villain that was.
Yeah.
Like I specifically remember the terrible villains
Yeah.
because it's funny.
Yeah,
All they need is that Dark Elf now.
oh my god. Taskmasters.
Malakath or something.
Yeah. Taskmasters in it. Like, no one even cared about Taskmaster.
I don't even know what Taskmaster is.
It's well, the MCU version is not the proper Taskmaster. So yeah. Well, Kai, you're the MCU fanboy. Thoughts? I know you've been craving
I am
this
not,
one,
but yeah. No, I mean, I didn't. I suppose I didn't register it as a Suicide Squad clone until you had mentioned it.
Yeah.
As for the asterisks, I mean, I don't really know. I think maybe it's trying to be funny. It's trying to be like, we're the Thunderbolts?
Nah, Kevin Feige said that the asterisks will mean something, but they're not going to reveal it until the film comes out,
Okay.
Yeah,
or something along those lines.
That's weird. Yeah, I mean, I've got pretty much no notes. I don't have any singular interest in any single one of these characters anymore.
What about the Captain America? You did like that character.
You're right. I did. I'll take that back. I do enjoy him. I do have some interest in what they'll do, but I don't think he's going to work in that dynamic. I think his character just works better as like this kind of lone, unhinged version of Captain America who thinks he's like doing the right thing and on his own sort of moral like compass and journey that is like kind of a little bit backwards. And when you throw him into a team dynamic like that, you just water it all away.
Yeah, you're completely right. Yeah.
All right, the last trailer is Mickey 17. It stars Robert Pattinson dying multiple times, and it's directed by Parasite director Bong Joon-ho. Fuck, close. I was like,
So close.
I was practicing in my head like this whole time. I was like, I know the first two parts, but what's the last one? Anyway, that comes out
January. 31st January, something like that.
January next year. I don't know if it's on all of our most anticipated. I know it was on mine.
It was second for me before it got announced for the delay.
Yeah, so we've seen the trailer. What are your thoughts?
Unpopular opinion, I think it was worse than the Thunderbolts trailer. I did not like that trailer at all. I thought it was just so completely different to what I thought I was going to get from a Bong Joon-ho movie. Not to say it's going to be worse than Thunderbolts at all, just the trailer quality itself. And it's definitely going to drop itself on my most anticipated list because it's really not what I want from this movie in terms of like how I, read the synopsis, read what it's about, read who's involved. It just seems like it's tonally the complete opposite of that. I trust in Bong Joon-ho to deliver, and so therefore I think it will make my top 10 at the end of the day. But yeah, completely wild. But those reports about Bong Joon-ho and Warner Brothers being at ties with one another, the fact that it's releasing in January, which is like the worst month for movies to release, it's just all the shit movies that come out in that time, movies that aren't going to make money and movies that definitely won't be considered for Oscars. It does get me very worried, and this trailer kind of alludes to that. But I have to have some faith in Bong Joon-ho. But yeah, that trailer was just very different to what I was expecting.
It's very Hollywoodized, rather than
I get that.
Yeah, I'm going to say I completely disagree. I think if you've seen his full body of work, this is pretty typical for him. Like these kinds of films, like Snowpiercer, Okja, like these kinds of weird kind of worlds and weird situations. And he makes two kinds of movies. He makes those kinds of movies, and then he makes movies like Mother and Parasite and these very grounded, realistic human sort of like portrait movies. But he typically likes to like kind of tell a similar message between both of them. Like with Parasite, it's kind of like he does dig at like classes, right? And he does the same in Snowpiercer, the classes.
Yeah.
And I imagine with this, it's going to be something similar. He's going to have a similar sort of message, but I think it's just really hard to maybe handle what that movie is in a trailer format because, and I'm being an optimist here, because I think that his storytelling does not lend itself particularly well to a trailer format. Yeah. It's very, very slow storytelling in the sense that it's this gradual build to something profound at the end. Yeah. That's often what his movies are. So I don't think the trailers like lend themselves to it. Right. I'm just being a devil's advocate here. But
I think, but this is Bong Joon-ho's first time with kind of, a big major studio, especially coming off Parasite.
Well, I mean, Snowpiercer's kind of big.
Yeah, but they've put a budget of $200 million here. Warner Brothers is going to want to be in there in the control room, being like, no, it needs to kind of do this, and Bong Joon-ho's going to be like, no, it wants to be like that. So I feel like it's going to be his first real clash with those studios in a way that we haven't seen before, especially with the money behind it. Yeah. I'm just saying, if you watch that trailer and you chuck a random director that we don't really know name behind it, I would look at that and be like, nah, I'll pass. Like that's all I'm saying. That trailer was disappointing. Yeah. But I do agree in terms of Bong Joon-ho and his style of movies, and trailers are hard to kind of adapt or get you hyped for them. I have to trust in Bong Joon-ho, so yeah. Trailer itself disappointed, but I have some faith.
Yeah, I don't mind the trailer. I thought it was pretty cool. It was interesting. I just hope that we don't see every single one of Robert Pattinson's deaths in it, because I think that would be the most like interesting aspect of the film. Considering that's what it's all about. So I hope they do have some like wacky deaths reserved.
I think it will probably be deeper than that. I think it will there'll be some layers to this they're not showing us. Yeah. Because he doesn't make films that are one note like that.
Yeah.
He never has. Yeah.
Until now. Because Warner Brothers made it.
I guess we'll see. Yeah. It's whether you have faith. You could watch a really bad trailer that comes out and it's done by Martin Scorsese, and you go, well, the trailer wasn't great, but it is Scorsese, And then you watch the movie and it's, lo and behold, it's great, and you go, okay, well,
Yeah. But he could be taking the Todd Phillips route here.
Don't compare him to Todd Phillips.
No, it does a low budget movie that gets nominated for a bunch of Oscars, then does a $200 million budget movie straight after that. Doesn't work. Same studio.
Yeah, but I would say that Todd Phillips has nowhere close to the resume that Joon-ho has.
I just find it odd that Warner Brothers put this in January. Bong Joon-ho has no control over the release date, and they're like, we'll chuck it in the dead zone. It's like, why? If it's good, you're going to put it near Oscar time. They could easily bump this to the 31st of December and have it eligible for Oscars.
Yeah. They could have put it right at the end of December, which
it's just odd. I'm very intrigued to see how that movie's going to turn out. But again, I gotta have faith in
When does Minecraft come out?
like April, May. I think it's May. End of May.
Oh my gosh, that's ages away.
Yeah, it's the summer movie.
Yeah.
$1 billion movie.
Oh my god. Anyway, we'll move on to more shit news. The Joker 2 opening weekend forecast. All right, so right now the Thursday previews were at 7 million, which is below The Flash, which was 9 million. It looks like a 12.75 million or more for Friday, and Joker 2 for 20 million opening day. I don't know. I don't understand how that worked. Okay, anyway. It is projected to get around about 38 to 42 million on the opening weekend.
Yeah.
I think originally it was around about like 50 plus.
55 million at the
55.
start of this week, yeah.
Yeah, at the start of this week, and now it's looking to be one of the lowest.
100%.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said before, Thursday previews are counted as Friday gross.
Oh, right.
Or
Okay.
opening day gross. So it's that 12.75 plus the 7 million there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This movie was looking to be, everyone was like predicting, can it reach 100 million opening weekend? Because I think the first Joker was like 95, 92 or something like that. Very close, and everyone's like, this might be able to get 100 million opening weekend.
Yeah. And don't forget, guys, Joker was the first R-rated film to hit $1 billion, and it may potentially even make his budget. Its budget's 200 million. I mean, it probably would, but if these negative impacts and word of mouth, then we could see a huge drop. But
Joker's incredibly popular overseas because it only made like 300 and something million US, the first Joker, and it still made $1 billion. So there's like nearly 700 million coming from overseas markets.
Yeah.
I think it's looking around 70 million opening weekend internationally, but it won't break even. At least it will get around that 300 to 400 million mark. I would say. As bad as the movie is, it might go below 300 million. It could just drop off completely, which I think it will. But yeah, a 20 million opening day, and it's going to be 38 to 42 million. The word's out. This movie's trash. We just saw just before we started this, it got a D cinema score. And cinema scores are very influential on box office figures in terms of how they hold. That is the lowest score for a comic book movie of all time. Just
Crazy.
put that in your head in terms of like all that shit comic movies that we've had. Fant Four State. What are some like the truly horrible ones as well?
Man Web.
Yep.
Morbius.
Catwoman.
Yep. See, lower than all those. That's just insane. Everyone hates this movie. Yeah, I would predict that it goes under 40 million. I might even say 35 to 38. I would go even lower than that. I think Saturday and Sunday are both going to drop. I don't think it will make 100 million.
Well,
in the US
the
market.
first Joker had so much strength because of its hold. Like it held for so long.
That's true.
And just continued to make money.
Well, people,
This
casual
one
audiences
had that.
really engaged with it. But yeah, with this one, think about it like this. I don't think it will make the opening weekend of the first one in the US market, which is wild.
Yeah.
Considering it costs 4 times the
The
price
amount,
to make. But hey, yeah, it's what it deserves, honestly, because it just felt like no one actually gave a shit making that movie.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Hey.
Yeah, I like it. That was a good way to use that. But yeah, I'm surprised, but after seeing the movie, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right, next one. Sam Raimi, he directed Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and now he is in talks to be directing Doctor Strange 3. Kyan, could you get on board with this after watching Multiverse of Madness?
Multiverse of Madness is such a weird thing for me because there's like parts of it I really like ideas and imagery and style, but then there are parts of it that just really irritate me and don't work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if Raimi is given way more full control than what he purportedly did not have in Multiverse of Madness, because grubby little fingers were all over it.
Yeah.
The first director was pretty much had pretty much completed
the first.
the first proposed directors for it had pretty much
Scott Derrickson? Is that him?
Yeah.
Scott Derrickson.
Yeah.
He had completed like the whole concept of what he wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And then they fired him. And then Raimi came in to pretty much pick up his work and then like reconfigure it to work.
Yeah.
and there were still fingers in that pie. So I don't know. Like, I kind of want to see what he does if he's like sort of fully there, but at the same time, I think I would rather just have Raimi do his own original project.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I would rather have an original Raimi than Multiverse of Madness 2.
Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have Spider-Man 4.
With Raimi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, just
Toby.
because of what he done with Spider-Man, that character in the past.
Yeah, I mean, just because of what it would mean and that sort of thing. And I do want to see Toby come back, you know.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Yeah, but that ship might have sailed now. But yeah, I'm kind of on the same thinking of you as this. I know I didn't like Multiverse of Madness like much at all, really. But again, yeah, I think there was just a lot of other factors outside of Raimi's control doing that, manipulating that movie. So yeah, I would like to see him come back. And it's like, why would I take some director that's like does very average movies and then deny Raimi that opportunity? At the end of the day, Raimi's still your best bet even after Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, I'm all on board for Raimi doing Doctor Strange 3, and he has a better he can execute more of his vision on where he wanted that character to go and all that kind of stuff. And I think more importantly though, it's where the MCU and its organization is in terms of the quality of the movies at this point. I think it's just a franchise where, just the overall organization and how those movies, the consistent quality for those movies are the thing that dictate all the other movies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be more influential than actual directors, just because there's so many execs in that studio that dabble in it and have to review things and have to see if the script's okay.
Yeah.
They're not going to give someone total control.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope they give Sam Raimi, if not total control, at least like 85% control of, or like his ability to execute his vision on this.
Yeah.
Because clearly in Multiverse of Madness, he didn't quite get that, because it was, as he mentioned, Scott Derrickson did the majority of it, and then he came in just to pretty much sew bits and pieces up here and there.
It's kind of like with the whole like Edgar Wright doing Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what's his face coming in and picking up the pieces, and you can still feel some Edgar Wrightisms in there, like with the editing structures and stuff. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember the whole thing.
All right. Now the big boy, Daniel Day-Lewis. He's coming out of retirement, and his last film was in 2017, which was Phantom Thread. He is set to star in a film directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. What a great name. The film is called, Anemone. Anemone?
Anemone?
Yeah.
Anemone.
Yeah, Anemone, yeah.
Anemone. And it explores the intricate relationships between fathers, sons, and brothers, and the dynamics of familial bond.
Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what I said? What did I say?
Blonde.
Sorry. I also wrote it's also set to star as, but I never put those people in. But yeah, anyway, big news out of this is that Daniel Day-Lewis is coming out of retirement. I haven't seen any of his films, so I can't really comment on that.
Insanity.
I just know that he's a very good actor. Are you guys excited about this, or would you rather just have him stay?
I'm cautious about this, just because he's coming back for his son, and I don't know his son's work. He could be.
Is it his first one?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know his work. I mean, he could have done something before, but whatever he's done before, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little bit cautious of that, because he could be doing it just as a fatherly thing to do.
Yeah. Especially when the film's especially when the film's about family too.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I mean, whatever he's in, he'll be the best part of it, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's the director and the creator behind the narrative that is going to be what dictates the quality of the film. You can have the best actors in the world, put them all in a room, and if you had a terrible script and a poor director, it doesn't matter.
100%. Yeah. Yep. Completely agree with that. And it is his first film. So
take it with a huge grain of salt that this return is meaningful or results in a magnetic masterpiece.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it is meant to be that, which is why I'm not really excited for it, or
Yeah.
I don't really care. It just seems like he's coming out to support his son's work, and that's good for him. That's what a great dad would do, in my opinion. So, I mean, good for him on that, but it doesn't feel like, an official coming out of retirement, oh, this role speaks to me, I have to do this before the end of my career. It's just supporting his son kind of thing, and I think that's all it really needs to be. It might not even be a movie that kind of gets on my radar or even like gets close to accessible to watch, just because it's a directorial debut of a 26-year-old. So
Yeah.
I mean, if it was like, Daniel Day-Lewis comes out of retirement to star in film with Christopher Nolan as the lead, then you're going, holy crap,
that would be massive then.
Yeah. But, considering it's this very personal, seems to be almost like this family project, it's sort of like, well, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But I'd be interested, and, obviously the themes of the movie and stuff really play a strong tie between both director and actor. So, yeah, it makes sense that he would come out of retirement for this. So, yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise, Nan, watch a movie of his.
Oh, well.
Witness his acting.
I'm thinking Lincoln will be my first.
I think you should do There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
You should do There Will Be Blood, because it's definitely the most engaging of it. Lincoln's very political.
Okay.
Phantom Thread's interesting too. You won't like Phantom Thread.
I think you will.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it might be his kind of thing.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's my task. That's my homework, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. That's us on our 89th episode. We only have 11 more to go, excluding specials. Hope you guys all enjoyed what we have listened from. If you enjoy listening to the podcast, go to Spotify, wherever you pod from, give us a listen. You can unfollow us from Instagram and stuff like that. We don't care anymore.
Don't unplug us.
Just delete us
Bye.
from your history and everything, but keep listening to the podcast. Yeah. We'll catch you guys on the next one. This is the 89th stop on our road to the final pod. We'll move again, so we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Later.